welcome to a very special episode. Now in the series of Goa Heritage Festival, it's yet another episode that we're getting, and this time we're featuring another aspect of this festival. As you know, there are n number of things happening in these 5 days that starts from 15th to 19th of November, and this all action of Goa Heritage Festival happens. It's rather a homecoming, and it's happening here at Campal. And I have some amazing guests with me just to know a little more about this festival. To start off with, I have Jack Sukhija, who's curating the heritage walks. I have Maryanne Lobo, who is founder of Plants Walks. Dr. Maryanne Lobo, who's curator at Medicinal Plant Walk. Architect Noah Fernandes, who's curating Holy Hill Walk. And Darpana Athale, curating Sketch Walk, and also a little bit in the Craft Bazaar also. Uh, Jack, let me start first with you. How important is this festival to conserve, preserve, and transfer this heritage to the next generation? And also, how important it is to have this heritage walk in this particular as one of the itinerary.
I think Heritage Festival is very important and a proper Heritage Festival, not a Naam ke Vaste Heritage Festival, which a lot of people do organize, which showcasing local culture and this thing. Now, if you just go back, the word heritage was very much not even considered till the Fontainebleau festival happened, and that I think kick-started heritage tourism in a big way in Goa. It gave it a fillip. People were doing things before that. So this heritage festival is very good because people get aware of what is our local history, what is unique about Goa, and accordingly you find that you can create a lot of great activities, products, history, culture around it. So it's very important. Coming to why the walks are important, I think there's no other better way to know about a city than to walk around it, see everything from its historic buildings to its great gardens, through its plants, so all the resources it has, the water sources, and that is what we have done in this walk. We've got around 20 walks which range from purely instructional to ones where you experience doing things like Darpana sketch walk to ones no one I think knew about medicinal plants in Panjim. And I think what is very important in today's age is we know about the tree cover and the urban forests and the plants we have, because with the heat, with climate change and heat going up, the only way the city has to realize that trees and plants are a medical resource and they have to be looked after. They are development. You can't say in the name of development and roads I knock off these things. So yeah, plus you have the old Goa Holy Hill walk, you have the Race Mangos walk. So all these walks are give you a great mix of all activities going on, and cover the whole city of Panjim and its surroundings.
Okay. Um, no, tell me one thing now. There is one itinerary which says Holy Hill Walk. It's quite an interesting name to begin with, and obviously there is a lot of excitement with that also. How do you see as this being curated by you as one of the aspects for the festival?
Yeah, so basically, this walk is curated in association with the Museum of Christian Art, and this side of the Holy Hill actually is a side which is very less explored in Goa and in old Goa itself, because everybody ends up actually visiting the born Jesus and the Sea Cathedral and these monuments that are in the core of the city. But this the Holy Hill is actually just off the core of the city in old Goa, and it's because of this just being off the main core, it's less explored, and it has in fact some of the most interesting monuments out there. It has the Our Lady of Rosary Church, which in fact is the oldest church in Goa, which is actually Portuguese in its architectural style, which the other churches are usually in the Renaissance time. And then you have the ruins of the Saint Augustine monastery, and also you have the Santa Monica convent, which is actually the Asia's first nunnery and largest nunnery. And you have these buildings coming together, which is actually tied together with the Museum of Christian Art, which showcases Indo-Portuguese Christian art, which is actually our uh, art and cultural heritage of Goa. And these things actually coming together actually give we try to talk about a lot of give people to understanding the values that are there within this
Okay.
architectural and cultural heritage that we have.
Okay. One question additional to it is, we always hear that Old Goa happens to be the Rome of the East, and we've heard about it.
Yes.
We've seen a little architecture, while we go through.
Yes.
Now, what are the elements, as you have mentioned some of them, because we have not gone to the Rome, we
Yes.
have seen it in pictures. How do you make one of the participants here entering this festival, comfortable, making them realize that this is the Rome of the East?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question, and because look at Rome, such a huge agglomeration of churches, which is something very unique in the world, and you have that same thing happening, thousands of miles away from the heart of Christianity, that's Rome. You see this place in Goa, which is actually so far away from what was the way Christianity was actually born, and you find this kind of agglomeration of churches happening over here, which is very unique actually aspect, which really you find in few places across the world. And also you see that this Renaissance style, which really is actually European, coming to Goa, and is actually kind of being fused with our Goan traditional architecture that is there, using the traditional materials, and also the art and architectural styles, and things coming together, which is actually really something special, which you thinking about it actually, from a European perspective, that's actually something very special, which is which you usually kind of do not find across any other parts of the world. And it happens here. And you see churches that actually, you see the similar churches that are there in Europe, you find them so far away from that, and they have their own setting, or their own character being in this area, and being built by our local craftsmen, and new builders, with direction of course from the Portuguese architects, and master builders that they had in that time. So it is something very special for us to actually kind of engage with that, and try to understand its this fusion of Indo and Portuguese fusion that happens in these churches.
Okay, thank you. Rather going into plants in general, I'll ask, Jack spoke about the climate change and stuff like that. Plants in general is important. We need to have that cover, that is what we've realized. Also, specifically, is medicinal plant. Doctor, tell me one thing is, getting medicinal plant walk, and especially here in Panjim, I believe.
Yes.
There is so much of things that we don't even know with respect to Panaji. How do you feel this particular aspect being included in the festival?
It's really very heartening to see that it's part of the festival. It's the second time actually that the Goa Heritage Action Group is organizing the medicinal plant walk in Panjim. And yes, Panjim has an extremely rich source of medicinal plants. I mean, also the rain tree cover that is there, that is the heritage of Panjim, what you see around in the avenue trees. I mean, it's getting less because of development, but they are still there, and that's what's keeping Panjim cool. Also, Goa has a heritage of what many people have long gone forgotten, of Zadokars, of Vojins, of those Shirokar Tartalipai, also of those that used to give traditional medicines. So I will be bringing out this aspect also during the walk. And Goa government is also making a particular attempt now to recognize these traditional healers. So there is traditional medicinal plant medicine and awareness that is increasing very rapidly, and I really thank the Heritage Action Group for allowing us to be a part here, and for us to have this walk and make people aware of the simple things that may miss our mind, things that you can see just growing on the floor, and then you realize their medicinal worth. Like you may find a bhumi amla which is used for jaundice, or you may find something that is used for skin diseases. There is so many things, and we will be doing the walk from Gaspedius, which again now you say it's the beach area, but right there itself there are more than 10 medicinal plants. So do come for the walk to know more about the medicinal plants.
Okay. Now come to my favorite part of the festival. That's the art. The First of all, tell me one thing. The sketch walk. How did this idea come about?
So we are part of Urban Sketchers Goa, and the whole idea of urban sketching is to sketch on location, and we document the city one sketch at a time. So and I think it's a fabulous way. We represent an international. We are the chapter, Goa chapter for an international body called Urban Sketchers. and we meet every Sunday. And we are just enthusiasts who come together, sketch, who love the city, who love what they see, and this is our way of contributing to the city in terms of documenting it, in terms of looking at the details and creating that awareness of the city.
Okay. And again, if I say highlights that somebody would be excited to go about and be part of this, what is the
So
highlight? Like you said,
yeah.
you try to document a city in particular
Right,
things.
right. So when we usually go for an urban sketching meet, what happens is we observe, and it's observation, it's meditation, it's a lot many things. Usually through photography, we might just take an image, but we don't really observe. So here you will observe the nuances of the structures, of the architecture, of people, of action. So urban sketching is not just about architecture or structures, it's about everything that is live on location. So it's about the trees, it's about the context. So we will be actually starting from Kala Academy up to ESG, and sketching whatever comes in, on the way. We'll be talking a little bit about the history. We will sketch, and the highlight is that you do not need prior skills for sketching. Please feel free. Just get in a sketchbook and some pens or markers or whatever and come.
Okay, that's nice. Now, another aspect is Craft Bazaar. You are part of it. What would you like to say about that particular thing?
So the Craft Bazaar is actually a very, very important part of the Goa Heritage Festival. And that too because we are curating Made in Goa. We are celebrating Made in Goa, celebrating what is local, what is traditionally made here. And we are creating the awareness of what kind of crafts that there are. So if you look, in India, when you think of crafts from Goa, people can only name 2 or 3. But there is a huge plethora. In fact, there are more than 30 to 40 crafts that we have in Goa. But that, of course, it will come under, say, agro, will come under traditional crafts. It comes under many aspects of what crafts can be. So what the Crafts Bazaar is going to have are local people, local craftsmen working in traditional thing, right from somebody who makes brooms or palm weaving to kunbi saris, pottery. All of this is there, and we want everybody to be aware of our rich cultural heritage, and we want to celebrate it, and we want others to also know that Goa is not just about certain elements.
Okay.
So it's much more than that.
Okay, now this one is for all of you. In one liner, if you can ask my viewers to come and be part of this festival, would it be?
Do register at Goa Heritage, the website goaheritagefestival.in. Please do come in. Once you go online, you will see a registration for a common registration for everything that's there. We have, right from, as we've spoken about, Crafts Bazaar, we have talks and ideas, we have exhibitions, we have art, we have walks, we have so many performing arts and music, and it is from morning to night. It's just celebration of Goa. So please do come. Ensure that you go online, register, and register separately for the walks also. Thank you.
Okay. Maryanne, can this festival travel across out of this Panaji city? Can this be hosted around Goa?
Yes, I think it holds huge possibilities where it can be held outside Goa, because Goa by itself, every aspect of Goa has rich culture and heritage and tradition.
Okay. Again, with respect to heritage, how do you foresee this being transferred to the next generation? That's very important because, with respect to your organization, you're working towards it. But just to make people comfortable and realize the rich history and the influence and cultural influences that we've had.
Yeah, actually, my background also is in conservation. Okay, I'm a conservation architect, and also I teach at the Goa College of Architecture. So and we try to actually education plays a very important role actually in creating this mass awareness, and also kind of it's it allows actually, at a greater consciousness about what we have and what is our inheritance over here, and through these walks, along with Museum of Christian Art, we try to actually create that this awareness, this kind of sensitization towards heritage, because we are losing it day by day, and also we are losing people's care and concern for it, and that is why this walk allows actually that all those discussions that we need to have about our built heritage, and also the tangible and the intangibles that are present, and that's why we like to actually take people through time and kind of contextualize the heritage, because sometimes in today's day and age, we don't really understand the concepts and ideas that were in fact initiated during when those buildings came up, and that the city of Old Goa came up. So it was about kind of creating that, bringing that context and the setting, of this heritage, and making people appreciate it and understand it, that it is, it's not just really tied to one religion, or being Catholic, built heritage, but it's actually, you see, there is actually a lot of other other influences coming from Hindu craftsmen. We see sometimes the vaults and the structural system probably being designed by we're having Muslim builders from Bijapur and all coming in. So there was like, it was actually a very multicultural space, which today we really, that's a message that one can really work together to create something really special. Yeah.
Jack, finally, your final comments that the festival is coming after, I believe, 2 decades. It's happening here back in Campal. Perfect setting, perfect location. You have which complements to this festival. What are your final thoughts, and what would you like to tell my viewers to be part of this festival?
I think so. Like you said, it's a great the Heritage Festival. I mean, tourism is basically knowing about one's art and culture besides the add-ons, and also for locals, you have to know your history and culture. So, it is it's very relevant that we celebrate Goa's heritage and cultural diversity at least once a year and put out all the information that is there. And I think it's great that the festival is coming here. The other thing, just add on to your question, wherein you asked if it can be taken to the rest of Goa. So I think it's very relevant that we have this in each village, or maybe look at having it in each taluka at a specific time, so that more and more areas get exposed to knowing about their heritage and culture and what they have, and it also helps in diversifying tourism. About taking it to younger people, there is so what's very interesting is Hita started these heritage walks, and the Heritage Action Group getting into engaging with locals around 20 years back, and we would get one or two people coming for the walks at most. So a lot of us would struggle at that time. Now if you see, there are 3 4 guys who are in their 30s, guys and girls, I mean, any who are running companies purely dedicated to local experiences, which is a great thing. So I'm sure someone will get exposed, someone will pick an idea, and more people will get interested in doing this. And the only way to keep something going is by having interest and people getting actively involved in it. Being just a monument does not help. So I'm sure there will be a pickup.
I
from
think the history to travel and the influences to travel, I think we'll have to engage a lot of people, and obviously the locals have to be, the stakeholders in that. Now that we are talking about climate change and a lot of other things, plants, obviously we've realized one is, we need to have this cover. As we've discussed, there are, a lot of global awareness that is happening. How does one conserve and preserve the trees, and also, plant more? Because we see a lot of development happening here, but are we focusing on the next generation with respect to the plant cover? How do you see, as one of the founder and working in this particular segment?
As we've been documenting the vegetation that's growing in the forest these days, we found the cashew fruit growing in the wrong season. So we definitely are talking about climate change.
Correct.
So if we sort of cut off one tree, I think we should at least plant around 6. So the future generation can have something, at least to taste what a fruit was.
Definitely. Okay, and with respect to this walks happening here at the festival, what are your thoughts?
I was part of the walks that happened last time, and we got an opportunity to learn a lot of things about the village, about the city that we ourselves who were born here didn't know about. So it was a good initiative by the Heritage Action Group.
Okay. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap here. But then again, we would want you to come be part of this festival, that is Goa Heritage Fest, which is happening from 15th to 19th of November at this beautiful place here at Campal, Panaji. But however, if you can't make it, definitely we'll get all the insights to you every single day at what's happening here at the festival. Till then, keep watching Prudent.